we doing? How's the weekend?
Oh, fantastic.
Great.
Raymond
wonderful.
is looking new this weekend.
Yeah,
this Monday.
He's not the only one looking new. The gentleman behind you also looks new. He's sporting a new haircut. Ubeti.
It works. It works. Look, let's do the front pages.
And now the Ghost Street Business is reporting this morning. Stock market loses 4.5 billion cities capital in 9 months, and Cocobot signs 1.3 billion syndicated loan deal. There's agro-processing story too. Projects are the ones leading the one district, one factory. Very soon, all of them will be coming on stream. That's what's being reported here. And celebrating 40 years of innovation and service excellence. That's also on the front page of the Go Street Business this morning.
Raymond, the cocoa syndicated loan, 1.3 billion cocoa syndicated loan, is also on the front page of the Economic Times. Other stories do. Prices of goods to remain unaffected by rise in transport fares. That's what traders are saying. Bank of Ghana likely to slash down policy rate. Those are the stories on the front page of the Economic Times.
Now, the Herald is reporting this morning that while insurance rule in PDS guarantee not fraudulent rejoinder, it's on the front page of the Herald. Now, PDS imports that's the power distribution service, right?
Yep.
Imports huge volumes of China-made cloth for ECG workers despite government suspension. And there's one more story you should be interested in here. Education Minister's newly bought computer software is behind the SHS placement troubles. This is the Herald reporting this morning.
The Chronicle newspaper has Australia visa scandal report out. 8 journalists and journalists in court indicted. Pius Hajide Kojo Ban Ajima exonerated. Other stories on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper. Menchia rescued Ghana from electoral violence in 2016. That's according to Asantino Otunfo's OSA22. Medress invade Ashaiman. 3 killed in a day. And Sunyani mourns late Queen Mother.
Now, the Australian visa scandal report is surfaced big time on the front page of the New Crusading Guide. But there's also a rejoinder by Dr. Johnson Siama denying some claims made on that particular SIPTIN deal, which is a report that was written by the New Crusading Guide some time ago. I gave 3 school feeding contracts to Ashanti Regional Minister. Subin MP is the one saying there. And Yemeni crime suspect fingered in U.S. envoy assassination. That's on the front page of the New Crusading Guide to last one. Minister Defense Project, that's the Medina Mini Stadium controversy, says the project is FIFA standard.
The Daily Guide newspaper, Otunfo's bombshell. I asked Mahama to accept defeat. EIU predicts Nana 2020 victory. Stop attacks on police. That's president saying. PDS fighting back is here. Yemeni terror suspect is here. Back page of the Daily Guide newspaper. Pep salutes Liverpool, pledges to fight back. Pep Guardiola is the manager of Man City. Kotoko beat Etoile. And celebrity hosts Ghana-China golf.
Now, let's go to the Ghanaian Times. And it's reporting this morning, let's end terrorism threat in West Africa from the president and government to publish Ayawasu West Wagon Commission report, and Interpol declares this Yemeni national I told you about wanted, and Mugabe state funeral draws thousands. The strike have been called of the Nagra strike, and Mugabe is a formidable warrior. This is according to the former president.
Funeral. It was a nice, very stately.
Rollins.
Wasn't it?
Stately.
Yeah.
But the family said they didn't want a state barrier. They wanted him to be buried in his village.
Eventually they agreed.
Yeah.
Eventually his nephew.
That's what I'm saying initially. The Daily Statesman newspaper, Mahama gave $4.6 billion sweetheart deal to Crony Agambire. That's on page 2 of the Daily Statesman newspaper. Mahamudu Bawumia gets that same interoperability deal for $4.6 million. That's the main story. The other stories we have done.
Right, let's begin, Raymond, with this.
Raymond, let me do the last paper I have before Raymond comes in. That's the Daily Graphic newspaper. Has a banner headline, I won't shield you. President cautions CEOs who commit infractions. Other stories, though, Ghana's achievements, combination of traditional political authority. That's Asante telling the UN Forum. And government submits Ayawasu West Wogon report for gazetting. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, Okra. Arthur's goal silence Etoile, and Ash goal survive Beckham's scare at Obuasi.
Great. We can now move into that story. I
Finally,
can't wait
Raymond
to
can go.
hear it. A 6-year-old who has been killed for rituals.
Yes, in the western of regional town of Debiso. Now, this happened when a neighbor reported that the gentleman has actually been beating the child consistently. The neighbor cannot find the child. Then the child was found under a tree near some cocoa farm. So when this incident happened, they went in there. But the gentleman who reported it was this neighbor I'm talking about. Was not so sure as a child because he knew these clothes and the height of the child who is 6-year-old. But because the child had been beheaded, he couldn't identify the child. So the police went to arrest the father of the child, who confessed. He is Kwamna Abraham. He confessed that he indeed killed the child for some ritual purpose. But he and 2 others had actually abducted 3 kids. The boy. And they have actually abducted 3 kids. And out of the 3, this was the first child they had killed. They were waiting to deal with the rest of them. But the rest of them are in the home of one Joe Naba, who leads that particular team. The interesting part is that the gentleman who reported the incident was also named as one of the people involved in this particular syndicate, who's been actually abducting kids in the Western North region and the towns related to that. Indeed, when the police went to the home of Joe Naba, they rescued these 2 kids. And these 2 kids are aged 10 and 9. So that is what the police got from there. Now, they also found things that suggested that they're running a mini shrine of a sort in that particular home. And this is what is leading to the police suspecting that it's for some spiritual ritual purpose. That is why the first child was killed. Now, the 3 are in custody and they are being investigated. And the investigations are ongoing because the police suggest that there's been, in the last couple of months, some
Missing children?
yes, abductions, suspected abductions within the area.
This is a kidnapping ring. Obviously, if you have 2 kids there and you
Yes.
killed another one.
And the numbers go beyond the numbers that they are having now. So that is where the main concern for the police is tracing the rest of the kids, whether they've been taken away or not. Because one of them hints that there could have been a Nigerian angle to all of this. Because apparently, the relevant body parts end up in Nigeria.
So the parents should also be more careful with how they take care of their kids so that we can keep an eye on them. Malik, let's quickly move back to Accra. The Ayawasu West Wogon
Finally, the Justice Emile Short Commission report on the Ayawasu West Wogon by-election violence has been submitted for gazetting together with the white paper. Of course, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah is the one who said this to the Daily Graphic, and he says that after careful study, the government has issued a white paper together with the report itself. It has elected to publish them in accordance with the Constitution. We know that the Constitution says that whenever a committee or commission of inquiry is set up to look into a matter of national interest, the government has one of 2 options. Either the government will publish the report together with a white paper, or if the government chooses not to publish them, the government will state the reason why it is electing not to do so. Kojo Nkrumah is saying that on this occasion, the government has decided to publish the report of the Justice Emile Short Commission together with a white paper. And this, we know that this commission was set up on February 8th, following the January 31st election by-election violence that occurred at Ayawasu West Wogon. And the commission was set up to look into the reasons why this happened and to make recommendations. The commission submitted its report on March 14th, and the government has 6 months within that's what the Constitution stipulated, to either publish the report or explain why it wouldn't publish it if it decided to do so. But now we know that it's going to publish it. We know that the opposition NDC has been campaigning relentlessly for the government to release it. In fact, some opposition MPs in parliament advocated that this report should be released before the bill which was tabled by the Attorney General to criminalize these violence that are occasioned by party vigilante groups
and other vigilantism,
absolutely
occasioned by other.
Yeah, it was advocated that the report should be issued before that was that bill was passed into law. Of course, that didn't happen. Now we know that the bill, the report is being published.
Right. There's another report which is out, the Australia visa scandal.
Yes, and if you have monitored recent conversations which involved whenever the Deputy Minister for Information, Pius Enam Hajide, had appeared on the platform, especially with the NDC participating in the platform, they cite him as one of the examples of a cleared situation without the report being made public. Now, finally, the Crusading Guard has a copy of that particular Australian visa scandal. Remember that there was a huge embarrassment on one of those Olympics games when our people were sent back because apparently some people purporting to be journalists with the names very familiar journalists were all on that particular trip, and that was what was investigated along the line. So the CID report, according to the Crusading Guard, has cleared deputy. We knew that he has been cleared because the president told us that the man has been cleared. What we didn't know was the report in this particular case.
Okay.
So this is the Crusading Guard having very detailed access to that particular report, telling us why the man was cleared. In fact, they said according to the report by the CID dated June 8, 2018, a data entry clerk, Hussein Akwete, when interrogated, confessed he was compelled by the deputy minister, this is in this particular case, to add the said names to the list for the trip. So the names that were, supposed to be. So this is what brought in the interest on the deputy minister. Meanwhile, it was established the allegation did not disclose whether or not those extra names, which Honorable Ajide supposedly caused to be added to the list, were discovered in the GCA team size calculator accreditation system. According to the report, although a number of journalists and other people applied to go for the games through the link opened by the Gold Coast Organizing Committee, all of them had their applications approved. Some journalists reported that the method used in selecting the journalists to the games was flawed, hence the system was manipulated. Meanwhile, out of the 14 of such persons deported for posing as journalists, 3 of them actually, we are told, were true journalists. However, the CID pointed out that the allegation that the Honorable Pius Ajite facilitated the inclusion of several names into the Commonwealth Games accreditation system could not be substantiated by the gentleman who made the claim.
So someone said that Pius Hajire asked him to add names, but he could not prove that Pius Hajire asked him to add, and that's how he was cleared.
Yeah, so you say I gave you money, but there's no proof of that particular money.
I thought we were told that the minister himself, the sports minister Isaac Esema, had sent a report to the president also indicting his deputy in this matter.
Oh, as for the report, the full report will be made available pretty soon. But this is
so
what
that we know all the details.
In the Crusading Guide's own reportage on the set.
All right,
the
let's go
editor-in-chief of the Crusading Guard was the one who said that a report submitted by the minister had indicted the deputy. Anyway.
Malik, let's move to the Otunfo story.
You don't want the man cleared.
Oh no, how? I'm just putting out facts. I have no interest in this matter. Yes, so the Asante Otunfo says that Ghana's achievements are as a result of a combination of traditional and political authority. We know that Asante was saying this at the United Nations High-Level Forum on the 20th anniversary of the adoption and declaration of the culture of peace in New York last Friday. This is where the Asante delivered the ceremony. And let me quote something he said. He said, apart from our role as custodians of the land, we are the primary arbiters in the resolution of conflicts on a daily basis, helping to maintain peace and order at all levels. Presidents and governments look to us for advice and counsel from the perspectives of non-partisanship in pursuit of their constitutional mandate. This is what the Asante Hene said. But what he said, which generated controversy, was the role he played in the 2016 election. When the Asante Hene said that in the 2016 election, the palace persuaded the defeated candidate, i.e. President John Dramani Mahama, to concede defeat and then for peace to prevail. We know that these comments are the comments that have trended on social media over the weekend, and the comments that have attracted a statement from a former Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, who issued a statement saying the decision to concede defeat was taken only by President John Mahama on his own, without any persuasion from anybody or any quarter. He says that, and let me just read a part of what he said. It is public knowledge that President John Mahama willingly announced his decision to accept the outcome of the 2016 elections and congratulate Nana Akufo-Addo even before the official results were formally declared by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. He goes on to say that on the day the President John Mahama willingly conceded defeat, he met with the Vice President Kwesi Bekwai and Mr. Arthur, NDC Chairman Kofi Portofe, General Secretary of the NDC Johnson Esedu Nketia, together with some high-ranking members of the party, and informed them of his decision to call and congratulate Nana Addo. I mean, of course, Julius Zebra proceeds to say that there was a phone call between the Asante-Hene President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo and some other persons. After that phone call, he went ahead to declare defeat, but he was not persuaded by anybody to concede defeat as suggested by the Asante-Hene, the respected Asante-Hene Otunfor-Setutu. Of course, this is still trending on social media and on mainstream media as well.
Yeah, the conversation has been very interesting so far. Now, the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest in Goil. Good energy. Make your day productive by relying on quality fuel from Goil, your 3-time CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. Goil Super XP and Diesel XP are additivated to enhance strong engine performance and prolong the lifespan of your vehicle. Above all, you're guaranteed extra quality with our fuel analyzer from our mobile laboratory van. Get your money's worth every day by buying fuel and lubricants from any of Goil's over 360 service stations nationwide and experience good energy. Buy Goil. Grow Ghana, Goil. Good energy, Goil. Yenara Yedia. Now, happy 14th anniversary to Zenith Bank Ghana Limited. It's been 14 great years of innovation and service excellence. So we at Zenith Bank immensely appreciate you, our cherished customers, for your continued support and loyalty over the years. It's been an honor serving you and making history together. Thank you for banking with us. Zenith Bank, in your best interests. Imagine a funeral finance plan that puts you in control from the start. That's what the Enterprise Funeral Finance Plan Unlimited does. With the Enterprise Funeral Finance Plan Unlimited, you have no limits and no restrictions. You're free to choose your premiums, policy lifespan, beneficiaries, and even your benefits. No age restrictions and no lapse. Sign up for the Enterprise Funeral Finance Plan Unlimited today for your own good. Enterprise, your advantage. MyJoyOnline.com begins with Joy News gets results. Over 100 girls receive free sanitary pads, and these are 102 girls in the Central Tongue District of the Volta region. They are benefiting from the distribution of sanitary pads by the Fantonio Foundation. This follows a Joy News report which highlighted the adverse effect of period poverty on the health and education of the young girls in rural Ghana. GNA.com has political election is not do or die. The former INEC boss, the now legendary Professor Atahiru Jega, he said this. He was in Ghana recently and he was speaking there. BBC.com has DR Congo's ex-Ebola minister mismanaged $4.3 million. The lawyers from the former health minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Oli Ilunga, say the authorities have accused him of mismanaging $4.3 million for the money allocated to the fight against the Ebola virus. Interesting news. We'll be catching that very soon on the BBC News at 7. We'll soon be crossing over to the Black Star Square to speak to Enimwa as she's with parents at the Solution Center for the CSSPS. Those who have not been able to get placements for the awards and those who had placements gone wrong. We'll be crossing over right after this. Stay with us.
Good energy powers the things that people do to empower themselves. It fuels families, communities, businesses. Good energy fuels nations. It gets things going and keeps them moving. Good energy isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Goil, good energy.
This is a bank, First Atlantic Bank. Refreshingly different services all day long. First Atlantic Bank, and it feels so cool. I know this is where I belong. Come on, everybody, this is a bank like no other. First Atlantic Bank. Follow me, let's go. Now we're stronger together. We're stronger together. Let's bank. This is a bank like
Together, First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
Atongo, if you that long time.
Coachman, it be me. Look, I go for training for abroad. Now I get a doctorate for psychology. I go for training for some fresh Interplast pipe.
Hey, Atongo Bidato, you always have something new from Interplast.
See this pipe be very durable and correct. You fit say it be very potent. Look, like it be medicines, if it could a bit Viagra serve. I could do press conference soon, I could tell the whole world how my new pipes go fit stop global warming. It be go fit face the desert heat, Eskimo cold, even the Swiss canal.
Atongo, it no be global warning, it be warming.
I mean, all it be the global now, whether warning or warming. See, it be the press conference where you will see why everybody for use PVC and HDPE pipes from Interplast. Interplast pipes be the best pipes. Very soon, Akosumbo and Boy themselves. Look, they don't go wait for rain because I got delayed HDPE pipes from the Red Sea and even global warning.
Hey, Atongo Bidato, international plumber with international pipes.
Interplast, wherever you are, we make sure water reaches you, even space.
As an executive, every transaction needs to be swift and convenient.
Kindly enter your PIN to authorize the transaction, sir. Here's your purchase, sir.
I travel light with Zenith Bank. It's faster. It's smarter.
I appreciate the little things. Whether I'm topping up airtime, paying for pizza, or my DSTV subscription, I live light with Zenith Bank. It's faster, it's smarter.
Whether you're buying, selling, on the move, or just going through life, Zenith Bank's vast array of digital banking products and services such as payment cards, POS terminals, the bank's mobile banking application, Z Mobile, and many more help you carry out your transactions faster and smarter. Go light with Zenith Bank. It's faster. It's smarter. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Ultimate luxury is what truly defines our newly unveiled O Plaza Suites. The Ark, nestled in the heart of Asukwa Kumasi. Choose from our 20 world-class penthouse suites in a relaxing setting with a private pool and a well-equipped gym and experience our home away from home. Call us on 050-7168-268 or visit our website www.kumasi.oplazahotel.com. O Plaza Suites, your new luxury accommodation address for your business trips or a simple getaway. O Plaza Suites, the pride of the Ashanti region.
Morning Show.
Wake up. Good morning. Good morning.
Let's take you Star Square here in Accra, where hundreds of parents have gathered there to see to the CSSPS problems that are bedeviling their wards. Now, thousands of children were supposed to enroll in school today. The green track of school was supposed to be reporting with their trunks and their chop boxes. But even those who went over the weekend, some of them were turned away because of these problems with the placement systems. Enimwa Enimado is standing by at the moment with some parents. Enimwa, what's the situation there? Anyway, if you can hear me, what's the situation at the Black Star Square?
Daniel, frustrated and desperate parents have gathered here at the Black Star Square. Some of them are with their wards, students who have fear written on their faces and in their eyes. And this morning, it looks like their future hangs in the balance. There are also security personnel present, the Navy, the police, and some military men. Officials, however, we've been told, will be here to start consulting from 9 a.m. Now, some of the parents are complaining that their wards were placed in schools and their names have now been removed. Some of them complain about the distance their children have to travel to get to school, and some haven't been placed at home. I'm speaking to a teacher who has traveled all the way to be here this morning. He's trying to sort out the placement for 3 of his family members. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's your name and how far have you come from?
My name is Keleboche, and I'm from Sanitary.
Okay, what time did you get here?
I got here yesterday at 10 p.m.
Okay, and what's the problem?
My children, 3 of them, were placed in schools that they did not choose, and then the school is far from where we are.
So what are you hoping will happen here today?
I'm hoping they just change or give them the right food.
But you were also here last week.
Yes, I came here last week, Tuesday, Thursday, and then so last week, Tuesday and Thursday. I slept the Tuesday and left the Wednesday. I came the Thursday, slept, and then went the following day.
And you've been here since last night?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Daniel, this is only one story among thousands. I would say there are about a little over 5,000 people here this morning, including mothers who have tears in their eyes and are shouting out, Mumboye, Mumboye, Mumboye. That's what's happening at the Black Star Square now.
Right. Anyone, have you seen any officials of the GES or the CSSPS officials? Have they started attending to them?
No, they haven't. They told us that they will start at 9 a.m. We were told by the security personnel. It would appear as if there are a few of them around, but they are not on official duty yet.
So, anyone, what time did these people get there? For how long have some of them been there?
Well, as I said, Daniel, some of them have been sleeping here. They've been here since last night. A lot of the mothers that I spoke to have been here since about 2 a.m., 3 a.m. with their children. I met a young man that I go to church with, and he also has been here since last night, slept outside, and is hoping to get some resolution this morning. The crowds are gathering, Daniel, 5,000, 6,000 people scattered all over the place. There's no order at the moment. There are no lines at the moment. There's an aura of desperation and brewing anger among the mothers and the fathers and the teachers who have gathered here.
And like this man you just spoke to, most of them came last week and were referred to come again?
Yes, a lot of them were referred. A lot of them are also now hearing about it. I have one of the mothers with me here, and so I'm going to speak to her right now. I'll be speaking to her in Tree. So Daniel, if you can please translate. Pacho, good morning.
Good morning.
Is it the Ben over here?
Me pacho me baha humati.
Okay, it's the problem now.
Me pacho me problem ni so me ba ni nya school. Ewo Accra Academy. Na yako eni din wo ho. Omo se emra Friday, yako omo yi ni din afim. Na omo se emra Independence. So shebe ni pe gu ha se no. Ye nim ni aye yo nkwala no eyare. Se se awofo ni aye ha nti se mo bi wo ho a. Ese mutimi boy.
Ye ne ba e na ye yi akola ni din free.
School. Me pacho the final ni din ni me call Wednesday na ni din wo. Friday me kwa no ma yi ni din.
Na wo mo ko man ka.
O man ka hwe o mo se me mra ha. Independent.
Na problem na sense of starting.
O esen ko kwa enra. 50 enso onko ye. O fie no ho fa no.
Iti Japan na wo pese ye ma wo.
Ene ye sesi am pese me gini sesi am repressing ni sesi am.
Daniel, I'm speaking to another mother whose son is in hospital at the moment. It's the
we tell me bano onya grade 11. Who will choose you in amfano? They will choose you the last no. But you have to new site, but then I'm to be 2 months and know about one. Or better pack 3 and know what to do. My year for Sumo, I dear center, or more money body, almost coming to me yet. And this is my back. After now, you know, I was at the hospital, my Jana, my next dinner. The same as I come to Martin and back to say I'm a no castle. It's the money. Someone just know about the mamma. I would know I just open and say, when you were here, and I'm not yet. But Mr. Ramon, for being one of us.
Daniel, there are tears in her eyes as she's telling this story. Her son is lying in hospital. He did well, but the school is just too far, and she will not be able to attend. It's a similar story around here this morning. So many mothers and fathers with tears in their eyes as their children's future hangs in the balance.
Thank you so much, Enimo Enimado, for joining us with that report. We'll be going back there later in the show. You heard her speak to a mother whose child was admitted to Accra Academy. She says she went to the school on Wednesday, found his name on the list, went back on Friday, the name was not on the list. A very similar story to what happened to those persons who went to Infanspim over the weekend with prospectuses ready with their chop boxes and their trunks, only to find that they were asked to go back. We'll be going into these CSSPS woes later on the show. We'll also be joined by Dr. Yao Safo as we put NHIS under our lenses and we ask ourselves, is the National Health Insurance Scheme healthy? That's a question we'll be asking this morning. But it's time now for the BBC News at 7, brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Clement said, believe with us and Shell Fuel Safe Filling New Year Deep. Remember though, you can send us your messages. Maybe you're a parent, or maybe you're a student, or maybe you know someone who is supposed to go to first year this year and is facing some of these blues. 0244 340 437. We're also asking you a question. If the transport fare increment is affecting you in any way, you can tweet at us as well with that answer at Joy 997 FM. Go on our Facebook page, Joy 99.7 FM. As always, WhatsApp and Telegram numbers at 0244 340 437. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Here's the BBC News.
In an hour, The Inquiry with Neil Rizal.